Hi, Ann Cornick from Paint and Porcelain Exchange, and today we're going to be working on a prairie house. Now, this prairie house is not difficult at all. It's a great beginner project, and I think it's something that anybody could do, and you can expand upon it. I'm doing it on a 4x4 tile, and I have my tile here, and I have it all laid out on my tile. And the reason I've chosen a tile is because I think it's easy to find frames for the small 4x4 tiles, at least in my area, because I live near an IKEA store, and Home Goods and IKEA both kind of carry some of the same frames. I didn't fill in all the boards on the house or on the extension. I didn't put all the shingles on the roof. And I did that intentionally, because if I had filled those all in, it would have been so distracting, you wouldn't have really been able to paint it correctly. As far as the frame, let me show you the frame I'm using. You've probably seen these. This one was $3, and it was at Home Goods. But I didn't get it at Home Goods. I got it at a secondhand store like Salvation Army or St. Vincent de Paul, something like that. And what I do is, this isn't like a real glass mirror, it's like a plastic mirror. So I go and I take a hammer and I hammer this out as best I can. And then I use the back side, and the tile fits. Let me do this here. See, the tile fits perfectly in there, and then I glue it in. So that's how I do it. And it works really well. So if you have any of these mirrors or see any of these mirrors at your secondhand stores, thrift stores, these are the mirrors to get because they fit a 4x4 tile perfectly. For today, you will need a brush that's very thin, and by that I mean, now look at it this way, see it? This part is very, very thin, and I use a filbert. And the reason I use a filbert is it has rounded edges, and this one in particular gives me kind of a wavy, sort of imperfect line when I draw with it. So I want that for my siding on my house. Also, I'm painting this house very tiny, so you can't do a lot with what's inside the windows and all that kind of thing. Your focus is going to probably be on the landscaping around it. So if you take your frame and you put your picture in it, you can also judge whether or not, you need to adjust the picture right, left, up, down, so that it fits better. Okay, colors for today. I have a mixing yellow and a yellow brown. I have a rich brown, and then I have an orange. You could use yellow red, that would work fine. I have a baby blue. I have a cobalt blue. The baby blue is for the sky. The cobalt blue is for the trim on the house. This is Rembrandt brown. It's a medium brown. Just any medium brown, doesn't matter what. I have a brown gray because I like a brown gray. If you don't have a brown gray, take your medium brown or your dark brown, rich brown, and mix it with your gray. This is a Copenhagen gray, so it has a little blue in it. And this is black. And I forgot to put black on there, and I was looking at it today. I thought, inside most of the windows, you do have a lot of black. So these are fun little projects that you can do. And I'll tell you, every time I paint a barn and take it into the booth at the mall, it sells. So the first thing I'm going to do on this is I'm going to do the background. I'm using my big filbert. This is a size, who knows? I think it's a 12. It's a really big filbert. And I'm going to just take baby blue, because you want to do your background sky before you get to your trees, or you're going to have a mess. So I just take and do little C strokes in the air like this. Now remember, if it's not dark enough on this fire, you can darken it on the next one. It's going to fire out a little. Remember, clouds are not blue, the sky is, so try to leave some patches of sky. But if you're a beginner, this is a great way to do your sky. And you just whip it around. I'm putting a little more blue than I normally would on it. And then I'm thinking about where my trees are going to go. I'm going to have some trees up in here and some trees here and some behind here. So, and you can go over your house with this. I'm going to bring the blue down on this side just so I have something behind my, my trees to show through. My trees are not going to have leaves on them per se, so once you get something that you're happy with, and you can feather it if you need to, that's holding it way back on the very edge, and just lightly going this way, and then this way, and then this way, and then this way. It'll smooth things out for you. Ba-boom! Oh, I think I want a little blue up in here. The drier your paint is on your brush, meaning it doesn't have as much oil in it, the better for doing this kind of thing. Okay, and now I'm going to clean my brush very well. And that's always a little hard with my filbert for some reason. So I have to bring my brush over, my turpentine over, and really work with it. Now, you can continue to use your filbert, but if it's too big, then you may want to go down to a square shader of some sort. I like the 1/4 inch. I'm going to load it with my Turpenoid Natural. I decided on that. I've tried every kind of oil known to man, and Turpenoid Natural seems to work the best for me. My roof is going to be like a yellow-brown, so I'm loading my yellow-brown. And when you load your yellow-brown, if it's a full load, you're just going to go like this and kind of squiggle. You want a little, if you want to build up the color on it. Now, a lot of people say they don't get enough color on their paint. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that you don't squiggle. So this is what I mean by squiggle. Go in there and really pull down and move it as you do it. I heard about that from Lauren, was it Lauren or Lorna? In McLaren, I think it is, in Canada. And I have to tell you, I've been really trying to do it more and more. And she's right. It really does work very well to get your color on your brush. Now, over on this side, I'm just going to do it. Here I did it kind of, and I probably will regret it, so I'm going back and messing it up a little. You want to go this way. You want to do down, a little across, because these are going to eventually be shingles, right? I outlined with a red pen after I put my Sorel transfer paper on here. You do not have to outline with a red pen. And red pens are less distracting than the black, but the red does mess up your color a little bit, and so it does become a problem. I'm just going to take it real gently there. Okay. And then I'm going to take the same brush. I'm going to go into my orange color, South Brown, which is the color I get from Paula White, or you could use a yellow red, and you're just going to touch these. Then you're going to go back, get more on your brush on just the corner, and just make blobs so it looks like bricks. And if you go out like I did, then you go across like this with get yourself a Q-tip. They work the best, especially if you have cloud behind it like that. Alrighty. So now I'm going to do the siding. And the siding is the most fun. Absolutely the most fun. I'm going to go back and use my filbert. Like I said, either a filbert, or if you have a square shader, or even a quill brush. This is a quill brush, the kind with the oh, that's not one. I'm sorry. Huh, where's my quill? Here. The kind with the plastic down here, and it's kind of wrapped around the top. Sometimes those get real worn and real thin. If it has worn sides, that's fine. This is a good time to use some of your brushes that aren't your best brushes. Now, the siding as I look at it, I colorize this. For those of you that have never used colorization, you can go on your computer and you can find applications that will allow you to add color to the different projects that you're working on, so that, say you take a basic gray house that's been weathered and you want to add some color to it, you can colorize it. It will make your piece more interesting, I think, because it, first of all, doesn't look the same as everybody else's. See how that nice thin edge makes it kind of look like old siding? That's what you want. Mine's a little bit curvy, so I got to turn my brush over and get a little straighter there. There we go. Okay. And now I'm just, without changing the color, I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow to it, because there's a couple places here I want to get a little yellow brown on here, and this would be a good way to do it there. Okay. And now I'm going to clean that brush. So now we're going to do a little gray, because there is a little gray on here. I'm using a Dove gray. You don't have to. But, oops. Hang on a minute. Let me get that. I got some orange on there. Okay. I'm going to use a little Dove gray, and you just go in and add the color by going across. And if you use the brush that I'm using, which is this, or any brush, and go across, look, I'll show you. Here's my square shader. If I go across like this with the square shader, I still get that funny line, which is exactly what you want there. Then I'm going to change my color one more time and put on kind of a brown. I'm going to use my Rembrandt brown, but eventually I will be using darker colors. And now I have to be a little more careful, because what I'm doing is, oh, in fact, I might want to do it with a liner. Let me get my, here. This is my liner, my scroller. I'm going to put it on with that. I think it'll work better, especially up in here. And I'm just coloring it in. I might go for rich brown. I think the rich brown might separate it out a little better. There we go. I'm going to use this guy. I think I like the look of that a little better. No, I still like the look of this the best. Yeah, look at that. It just has that wavy old barn look to it. Kind of separates out this stuff for me. This is my it's not working right now. This is my filbert. Okay, let me get it with this then, because in here I think I have to. Remember, if you skip some colors this time, it's not a problem. You can always add the colors in next time. And I'm going to do it over here. I need more color over on this side, so I'm going to take a little gray. Oh, that is gray. Let me take this gray and put in there. There. A little bit of orange and yellow over on this side. A little here. Okay. And we'll add back in the pointer. You don't have to make them real level. You don't have to make it real straight. If you have a little bit of a shake in your hand, this is the perfect job for you. Okay, so that's all you're doing right now, is just giving it some color. And then you're going to take your little Q-tip and go along and clean up all of that. Then I'm going to take the blue, the 1/4 inch square shader that I have. I'm going to put in a little cobalt. I'm going to see what that looks like. Oh, I like the cobalt. That's good. I could do baby blue, but I think I like the cobalt. So I'm just going to paint that now. Now, I don't put any shading on this time. I might mix it with a little blue. It's getting a little... I want something that's going to pop a little more. So I'll mix it with the baby blue. Yeah, I think I like that better. And I'll put it along the sides here. And along the side here. And here. And here. I didn't do the back part yet. I will do the back part. And then I'm going to put some here. I'm going to put it on the door. It's going to be hard because I've got the red on here. And just let it go because you're going to put the grass, and when you put the grass in, that'll take care of a lot of that. Then mix your baby blue with your Dove Gray, if you have Dove Gray or whatever color you're using, and you can do this guy. Oops, that's a little too blue, not enough gray. Here we go. I want that to be real gray so it separates from the background. Under there, it's going to be dark, so I'm just blocking it in. I'm adding a little black now, and I'm just going to go and put the black in here. There we go. And a little black. I'm going to do that with a pointer or something. Now, if this is too rough for you, you can smooth it out. You can take a brush and go over it. That's fine. I'm going to do the windows down here. The bottom half is black. Don't put your black on super dark. You can put 2 coats on. It'll get there. And then half of these windows up here have a little black in them. The lower half. And over here I have a couple that have a little black. And then I'm going to use the blue, and I'm just going to... Oh, that didn't work. Let's try it this way. We use the blue and go across here, here. Okay, that's gray. And I'm just going to fill in these windows a little bit. I might use a little brown. Well, I might use a little black. And I'll tell you why. The reason I'm using a little black on these is because I will lose them when I fire if they're the same color as the background. So you don't want that. You want them to be a little bit different. And on my colorization, when I colorized it, this one here turned orange. And I kind of like that, so I did it in orange. Now on mine, the door, inside the door is black. Oh, come on. That's better. I'll do it with my pointer. I get tired of it. It's not working with the pointer either. Come on. There we go. I mean, not pointer, but my scroller. Try to make the doors square if you can. Try to make the windows square if you can. You can do more on the next one, though. It's not a big deal if you don't get it on this one. And then I'm going to paint the door at the top, the big door. And like I said, every time I take them, especially with Father's Day coming up, I thought barns are good because men, you never know what to put on it, like a box for a man or a cup for a man. And that's another reason why I'm doing these, is because I think barns are good for men. I'm using the cobalt to give it a little bit of distressed look. Then I'm going to take my black. It's baby blue and cobalt. And I'm going to follow those lines I put there. Just enough so that they are there for this time. And the next time I can really play with them. You can make them a little bit crooked if you want. Those are breaks in the board. So it doesn't have to be stellar. There is a little hinge here. And there's a little hinge here. But, you know, you don't have to do that. You can just leave it and play with it a little bit. And here I want to even this up a little more. There. Okay, now over here, this barn, mainly gray. I think it's because it's... I think it's because it's off to the side. It just didn't colorize as well. So I'm just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then I'm adding a door. So there's a little door frame right here. And a little one up in here. I don't know if you can barely see it. And then all the rest is super black. Now I have a tree in front of this. You can do the trees on this fire, or you can do it on the next fire. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to start by putting in some of the grass in front. It's like a hay colored. I'm going to start with the yellow, mixing yellow, turn it upside down and go like this. I always paint upside down. I need more oil. This is not, there we go. You might have to keep wiping your brush off though, because if it touches the other color, remember we paint wet on wet. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to take a little yellow brown and do the same thing. See how that's, oh, I don't know if you can see, I'm kind of in my own way right here. Let's do this way. There we go. But lift at the end, lift. And turn it over, see what you have. Then take your pointer and make sure it's clean. Mine's got a lot of black in it. There. Okay. Mix it up with the browns, and you're just going to start pulling up from the bottom. You have to turn it over. It's always easier upside down, but if you have trouble picturing what it's going to look like, keep it right side up. Because if you get confused and it doesn't look right to you, it's going to be a mess. Okay. I just wanted the look. We'll do more next time. But right now, the darkers in the front. Don't be afraid of it. Okay, now our tree. I'm going to start out with like a brown gray. I'm going to turn my piece upside down. And I'm going to start at the base of this tree and pull up. And go right through the roof. And then I'm going to start getting on the very point of my... Now you need oil on your liner when you're doing this, okay? You can't just... And trees for me have always been difficult. Let me show you how that looks. See? And then if you want a little more here, you can do that. You can always add more to your trees on the second time. So now I'm going to decide where I want trees here. I want a couple here, maybe one here. I'm trying to paint backhanded so that you can see. Okay, I think I'm going to put one up in here. I'm using any brown or warm brown gray that I want, just to get the look of a delicate little branch. I have had to practice and practice and practice and practice and practice to get any of my trees to look decent. So don't get discouraged if you find that your trees don't look the way you want them to. Wipe them off, try them again. You'll eventually get it. Or you'll settle for bushes. I mean, that's the other thing. I might do a few little scrubby bushes back here. Here we go. Like that. And I might do a couple little scrubby ones right here. Okay. I can do the rest in front of the house later. Okay. All right, and I'm going to do this other tree I want up over in here. It's going to be a little bit bigger. It's the amount of oil. It's kind of like doing pen oil. I have a lot of oil on my brush. I wipe it once on my paper towel. Once this way, once that way. Then I go in and I wiggle. And I get the color. Make sure my point is real fine. And I stand up on it as much as I can. And you want them to go all directions. You don't want them to go all one direction. I think I'd like something maybe a little more in here. Here we go. Okay. All right. I'm happy with that. I don't see anything I missed. I might want to make a little of this a little darker, but it'll be fine. I'm going to get my Q-tip and just, there we go. I want to put this one here a little. Okay. Okay, well, that's it for today. If you're a beginner, please try this. This is a very, 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 very simple piece. You can't do anything wrong with it. It's a falling down house. If you make a mistake, who's going to know? So please try it. I think you'll enjoy it. Alrighty. So pick up those brushes. Keep painting. See you next time. Bye-bye. Subscribe so that other people can learn more about China painting and we can get the word out to more people. So thank you again, and I'll see you next time.